Alright, let's see what we got in the game industry this week then. Well, we're kicking off this week with Onimusha 2, and the numbers on Steam are in, spoiler alert, they're bad. With the player count peaking a day after launch with 1,600 players, and the owned copies being estimated anywhere between 10,000 to 30,000 copies as of recording. I'm not sure what you'd expect from an M-rated game that someone over at Capcom had the bright idea of censoring. Oh, and it also comes with the new launch, because why not? At this point, I'm not sure if Capcom's even aware of what it's doing. Maybe we should get back to calling it Crapcom, just like in the Street Fighter 4 days. Moving on, we have another room temperature IQ take from PC Gamer that gamers don't like the desexualization of characters. Yeah, that's what they're on about. Oh, brother. The journalist writing this said that people complaining about Widowmaker's butt in the new Cammy skin dragged her back to 2016 when Blizzard shrank Tracer's ass. Nah, you know what? I think we should drag this one back to 2010. She'd enjoy it. She also wrote that because Marvel Rivals was feeding gooners as of late, it's fine to blame the game, which also is supposed to have a funny side. And to no one's surprise, the tweet got ratioed 13 times as far as I could find, with one of the replies showing an image of PC Gamer's tweet about celebrating 10 years of posting that one image of Geralt in the bath. The comments were, wait, is this setting the clock back 10 years too? If hot characters set the clock back by 10 years, then someone needs to get a hold of the Marvel Rivals character designer. I have an idea. What if we commissioned the designer to redesign every character in Veilguard, Concord, Avowed, any other progressive game that comes to mind? Oh, I can see it. Somebody's gonna lose their mind when they see the redesigns. Oh. That would be so beautiful. Moving on, Stalker Enhanced Edition restored some of the censored images that were originally censored at launch, as pointed out by Reddit, and it's back to next on Steam. What caused the censorship? Well, it looks like the Enhanced Edition was handed off to a new studio since Metaboo's logo was removed from the Enhanced Edition, and it wasn't listed on their portfolio. 7 new developers were credited from Frag Labs, a Kiev-based studio, and some of the comments in the code had the label FL. Metaboo did work on the game. For example, they upscaled the mesh in the May-June period of 2014, and they also contributed to the code, but it's unknown when the switch happened. We still don't have an answer as of the recording as to who and why decided to remove the iconic Soviet architecture found in Pripyat. After all, this city is supposed to be a time capsule of what was the Soviet Union at the time. Moving on, we got Ubisoft making a new transformation committee. Yeah, that's what it's called, mind you. This apparently was done to guide evolution of the Assassin's Creed studio and find a quote-unquote new lease on life, which sounds like they're just trying to cut studios and staff that they don't deem necessary anymore. An internal Ubisoft email reviewed by a French news broadcaster, Nathan Coquimport. I'm not even gonna bother correcting that one. The CEO is Guillemot and picked 10 people to spend the next 100 days formulating the best way to help the studio recover. There is also an email that was machine translated by DeepL stating, "We have just passed a monumental moment in Ubisoft's history, which, strengthened by the agreement and the success of Assassin's Creed Shadows, will benefit from a new lease on life. The future ahead demands a new energy and a passion for the games that correspond to the current movement." Nathan also noted that 4 employees contacted by BFM Business, the return of Charlie Guillemot the son of Yves Guillemot, is indeed seen as a way to pass the torch to the next generations. Employees also note that as of now, the internal email has not yet been sent to the studios, likely due to concerns that the news might be poorly received, given the current uncertain context. At this point, I'm not sure there's any saving Ubisoft under the Guillemots if they don't have the rest of the studios that work for them. I mean, the foundation's out of the picture. You can't build a house without foundations, you know? Sony is making what it calls bad actor detection. According to the recent published filing, the Sony bad actor patent, which is a system that tracks and scores players in online games on how frequently they exhibit quote-unquote negative behavior. If a player crosses the threshold, Sony automatically limits their access to online features until they quote-unquote improve their behavior. If this doesn't smell like social credit score, don't worry, even the article thinks this is social credit score. No matter how I look at it, there's no way this ain't social credit score. Hello, China? Winnie the Pooh, I pray to you, give me good social credit score. This patent was filed in October 2024 and was published on the 22nd of May 2025, showing an automated behavior detection system that evaluates players through frequency markers, whatever that means. The more often you break the rules, or perceive to break them, the more likely you're to be flagged as quote-unquote a bad actor. The system doesn't just warn or mute you, but could also restrict your online gameplay entirely. Hey guys! Look! Sony wants to be LOL 2.0! You know that will end well. Moving on, Push Square posted an article calling Fairgames a super clunky cross between Fortnite and The Division. The pre-alpha was distributed by PSN with the name Project Hearts to a small number of participants to go hands-on with the game. And according to one of those players, it was a battle royale crossed with an extraction shooter. Boy, like we need any more extraction shooters these days. The original trailer had a contemporary Robin Hood vibe to it as squads of rogues rob from the rich. The game also has you dropping in a large urban environment with a team of 3 or 4 and tasked with stealing from vaults while other players are doing the same. Reminder, the trailer has 470,000 views with 4.3 thousand likes and estimated of 59,000 dislikes. Yeah, one red flag up, one to go. The article ends with stating that the game doesn't feel good to play and it's super clunky in its current state. Sony said that it remains committed to Heaven Studios under new leadership, of course. But it's been 4 years since Steam was founded and more than 2 years since it was acquired outright. With this, the clunky gameplay and the trailer like to dislike ratio, you can smell the end of this game before it comes out. Oh boy. My money's on this being dead on arrival. And also region locked. Let's not forget region locked considering this is Sony. Anyways, we're moving on. Tainted Grail. The Fall of Avalon released on the 23rd of May on Steam and it hit an all-time peak of over 25,000 players with an estimate of anywhere between 150 to 385,000 owned copies. And to the shock of no one, only 17 critics reviewed the game. Yes, this is a small game. Yes, this literally oozes Skyrim vibes. You'd expect Metacritic and other game journalists to pounce on it and start reporting on it, but hey, they can't praise a game that costs €44 or $45 that looks like it's a good game and stick to the narrative that you need games to cost $80. Moving on, Sandfall, makers of Clair, Obscur and Kepler Interactive, did a huge interview over on GameIndustry.biz. However, for the sake of time, I'll only cover the most interesting stuff. At least that I found interesting, that is. The director, Matthew Hanrahan, explained in a portfolio that, and I quote, Kepler is co-owned by a group of studios, but all operate autonomously. They make a lot of their own choices creatively and commercially in terms of directions of their business. But there is a collaborative aspect that they can draw upon if they feel the need to. The thing that we definitely are very clear on is Kepler is not sitting here telling anyone what to do. That's how it should be really, but you know. The Sandfall CEO and producer Francois Maurice yeah, I'm gonna butcher French names today by the sound of things, mentioned that the fact the studio head was deliberately avoiding chasing trends with Clair obscur is what attracted him to join in the first place. It had also mentioned that there will be another video game, but it's too early to say what it will be. He also mentioned, and I quote, "I can't wait to dig more into the idea we already have for the next game. Considering you just proven that you can make good games. Yeah, I'm waiting with bated breath." The article mentioned how tempting it is to make a sequel for the game and scale up. The CEO said that's something Sandfall wants to avoid, also stating, and I quote, "For now, our vision would be to stick to a close team working on the same city with less than 50 people on board, focusing on one project after another and keeping this agility and this creative strength and smartness of a small group of passionate people wanting to do something big." Even mentioning how he believes the Ocarina of Time and Half-Life 2 were made with 60 or 70 people max. Further down, he even mentioned that, and I quote, "One of the things that's great about Expedition 33 is it really respects the player's time. It gives them plenty to do, and it gives them plenty of satisfaction. But it isn't arbitrarily 500 hours of gameplay." Yeah, that's really Skyrim-y of you, don't you think? Oh wait, not just Skyrim, I mean, Assassin's Creed Shadows would be the latest guilty victim here. He also stated, and I quote, "When we announced the pricing at $50, we did actually have a little of a backlash online with people fearing it would be a 12-hour long game with unfinished content, and it was suspicious to have a $50 game that was looking like this in the trailer. But in the end, we stuck with the price and doubled down on it. We provided some context about the fact that it wasn't a AAA game. And that, kids, is how you make a successful game in this day and age. Spoiler alert, it's the same as back in 2011. Moving on, PC Gamer made an article about Dragon Age, and in the title it stated that EA execs thought Bioware fans would eat whatever slop they were given since, and I quote, "The nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. Then they started off with politics. Oh, brother." Skipping the politics stuff. David Geider, the creator of Dragon Age's settings and a Bioware veteran, said in recent chat with Games Radar, EA bosses used to refer to RPG stalwarts as, and I quote, "living in the cave," referring to a nerd cave. You made an RPG and the nerds in the cave would always show up for an RPG because it was an RPG. How did that work out for Veilguard? The article also mentioned that EA bosses were so convinced that the nerd cave is a real thing that their philosophy became, and I quote, "You don't have to try to appeal to them. You had to worry about the people who weren't in the cave, which was the audience we actually wanted, which was much larger." Yeah, again, how were the sales numbers, EA? Would you like to share them? I mean, come on. We're waiting. Dragon Age Veilguard sales numbers, chop chop. In what looks like to be a very thought out move by EA though, the company cancelled a Black Panther game alongside the studio Cliffhanger Games. More on that in a minute. In an email sent to EA staff, the president, Laura Miel, or however you pronounce this, at this point I don't care, said those changes alongside others, recent cancellations and layoffs, were to quote-unquote sharpen our focus and put creative energy behind the most significant growth opportunities. They're also laying off some people from its mobile and central teams, but EA declined to mention exact numbers. IGN speculates that the number is roughly less than 300, which happened last month. Now, on to the cancelled Black Panther game. The studio behind it, Cliffhanger Games, is also the studio that had the racist black woman that refused to hire white people because they are hard to work with, her words, not mine. She also actively avoided hiring them out of fear that it would create an unsafe work environment for its dev team's non-white members. Mind you, this was a Seattle-based studio that was a literal ticking time bomb on both federal and state levels for discriminatory hiring practices. That's why I said earlier that it looked like a very thought-out move. I mean, they probably thought about it for about 5 minutes. And just to offset the smart choice from earlier, EA is also trying to ban a DI remover mod from Sims 4. The mod basically allows to turn black, trans, and gay NPCs into white, cisgender, and straight versions. EA claims that this violates the end user agreement, and every time they remove it, the mod keeps reappearing. Oh boy, EA's gotta be playing whack-a-mole with a mod! Aww. Yep, these dumbasses are behind the times. Somebody needs to tell that the printer isn't magically printing up words or something at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if they think that's the case. And to no surprise, this also continues. The content creator Daniela Builds also commented on this a while ago on her Believe It or Not Facebook page. Yeah, I'm shocked. This is still alive and kicking. She stated, "This isn't just a mod, it's internationally erasing representation and pushing a harmful and disgusting agenda." Pirate Nation posted about this on Twitter too, and the first comment is from someone that goes by the name Roach King, and it goes as follows. "This is a really great indicator that EA has too many staff and could stand another round of layoffs. Alright. Let's be real here. I'm gonna keep it $1.50. Imagine Amazon Gold roasting your company after you try to suppress fan mods. Ain't that humiliating? Speaking of humiliating, Randy Pitchfork tweeted about how he saw a video of a cat messing with a crab, and another Twitter user that goes by Anthony replied, "I saw something crazy too. A CEO of Gearbox Software made players feel bad and alienated them for not wanting to pay $80 for his game. This platform is wild." Randy, by the looks of things, couldn't hold this shit together, replied with a book and a half, starting off with, "I'm sorry, there was a misunderstanding. The absolute sincere truth is that I don't want anyone to pay any more than they should or are comfortable with, and I always work with the internet and hope that customers always feel they got the better end of the deal no matter what they pay." God damn it, this sounds like corporate speak for, "I hope I managed to rip you off." He also claims that the context behind this is a guy warning him that if the price ends up being $80, the game will fail. I mean, how is Doom the Dark Ages holding up? That's all I'm gonna say. He then further elaborated that if the price increased by $10, it will be okay, and that Borderlands 4 will be okay because it's a great game. The actual context is him literally doing a "back in my days" all grandpa talk. He then mentioned that business is a thing and the market and economy have to adapt to its prices, but if people are talking and saying it's a problem, then if he really was a fan of us, then he would do something about it. Anthony, in a reply, also pointed out that what he is doing isn't an apology, it's gaslighting. He also pointed out that the market is actually not heading towards the direction of vastly inflated game price points, as he claims, even mentioning there are games that cost about $50 to $60 in 2025. Clair obscur. Also, we have, what was it? Tainted Grail, the Fall of Avalon says hi. Clair obscur is right behind him, moving in for the kill. There he goes! Randy Pitchfork serious down. I mean, on a serious note, if I can say one thing to Randy Pitchfork, it would be that back in the days you had a complete game for the price you paid, not a half-baked, bug-ridden mess that is ready for the DLC that was cut out of the base game just to make a couple of bucks on the side. But then again, Grandpa Randy really lives up to his name. Moving on, Multiversus shuts down its servers and can't be played online anymore. But at the very least, Reddit pointed out that they do have some sense of humor, as their Facebook page had a tombstone with graffiti on it that said #deadgame. That was quickly changed back to the same picture without the graffiti. Moving on, Ajin wrote an article and it started with Alex Wilton Pagan. For context, she played the female Inquisitor in both Inquisition and Veilguard. Alex, who blamed the quote-unquote mixed reactions of Dragon Age the Veilguard on people who wanted to see the game fail or wanted to see BioWare fail, even stating to be absolutely devastated to see BioWare's latest game fail to find a large audience. She also stated people were attacking the game before it was released. It's ridiculous how you can judge a game, a book, a film, a TV show before it's actually released. You can't. It's an idiotic stance to take. That's why you have trailers. That's why you have promotional material. That's why you have book covers. All for the people to make a call if what they see there is something that they'll like. But anyway, that's common sense talking, and we don't live in those ages now, do we? The IGN article also mentions the user-defined tags for the game, describing it under LGBTQ+, and politics labels which feel passive-aggressive. I mean, are the tags wrong though? No, not really. Was the game mediocre? Yes. Is this the end of Dragon Age? Could be. I mean, look at it. It's been how long since the release and people are still trying to defend it? I mean, it was a mediocre game at best. Let it lie to rest. And in some good news for gamers, Shift Up managed to remove the region lock for Stellarblade and also announced a demo for the game. This was confirmed on SteamDB, as the list of countries where it won't be sold has been greatly reduced. Here's hoping that the cash flow will be enough for Shift Up to be able to buy out the franchise and re-release it under a new publisher. I mean, if you trust Sony to do the right by gamers. I have some managed democracy on offer. The offer is only valid for countries that have access to PlayStation Network though. So you better move to a country that has access to PSN if you want to buy that offer. And to wrap up the week, we have more Genshin drama. Oh boy. It's almost as if every week we're dealing with this. I know, crazy. Kaylee Mills tweeted saying there's a lot of misunderstanding about why actors are either striking, not working, or choosing to go in, and claiming also to only post it to share facts with us based on multiple conversations she had with other fellow actors. Oh boy, this is gonna be a doozy. Buckle in, folks! I'm distributing the helmets. She started off with the definition of a strike and Global Rule 1, hence further gonna be referred to as GR1 for sand's sake. Followed by claims that SAG generally turned a blind eye on union VAs breaking Global Rule 1 so they can pay rent and eat because 80% of the work is non-union. But since the strike started, they can enforce it to collect bargaining power. She also mentions the speculation about why actors aren't working, saying some are close to correct, but many others wrong, because she claims that the truth is that every actor has different reasons for withholding work, and claiming actors aren't lying to us fall by 5 reasons. And don't worry, they're short, with the first one being AI protection, their favorite buzzword. Second one is actors who broke GR1 refusing to work to strengthen collective bargaining power. Yeah, don't worry about it. You're gonna find out really quickly later on how that's working out for them. Third, SAG or 5 core actors are withholding work until the client agrees to go union. Yeah, I mean, you're withholding work and the company is not based in the country you're in. I can already smell. Can you smell it? Can you? Oh boy, this smells like firing. Fourth, SAG actors who were comfortable continuing to work regardless may have been warned by SAG about breaking GR1. The final reason is non-union actors are choosing to withhold work in solidarity. Okay. Were the non-union actors that are choosing to withhold work in the gaming industry? Can't think of anyone off the top of my head, really. After that, she gave 3 reasons why people keep on working. I mean, they'll be on the screen. Pause if you want to read them. Even mentioning there are possibly more, but those 3 cover all major situations. She also claims that it's more nuanced than drama tubers and disgruntled fans make it out to be. Yeah, this whole shitstorm started because you lot harassed the voice actor. Let's be real, if it wasn't for that, you lot would have been fine. At least until somebody decided to open their goddamn mouth. Actors are stuck between being terrified of the directions the industry is heading and wanting to work and give voices to the characters we love. She even said, and I quote, "The current state of the industry and a fan opinion is heartbreaking for us." Oh yeah, the classic victim blaming. Keep it up, you'll get a new job very quickly at this rate. She ended up with calling people to have faith in them, but Mujin put it as best as possible, saying, "There's nothing to explain because at the end of the day, SAG-AFTRA treats voice actors like expendable toilet paper." More starting to realize this, especially after their most recent stunt, and proceeded to show the tweet of Chris calling the strike to end when SAG got the final and, mind you, best offer they had so far. Rock Cosmos replied to Kaylee Bells asking what did Jacob Takanashi do to deserve the hate and stalking by you. To no one's surprise, no reply was given. There was this white knight trying to defend her, but that got ratioed multiple times, with the highest ratio being 32 times as of recording. Alice Applepie also reminded people what the VAs are doing, saying, "Remember Sarah Kirby said she hated the whole community and the company? Karina told everyone they're stupid and we have no right to say anything. You and your other VA bully another VA when things got more revel. You all lied to us." Showing that the internet never forgets. And yeah, I probably butchered this, but hey. I got the point across, I hope. The tweet also got posted on Reddit with 2 savage mad lads posting, "You, madame, need a mirror." Second mad lad replying, "They all cracked the second she came interview." On the 28th of May, SAG hosted an Instagram live stream with the negotiating committee and chief negotiator. Genshin subreddit picked up on this and mentioned that they did reject the best and final offer. The OP also mentioned that they are aware of gaming companies replacing VAs from other countries, as it was brought up in one question, but they didn't really seem to care. Shocker, I know! The user Platinum_6156 mentioned they not realize that means the end for them. If these gaming companies are using other VAs, why would they even hire SAG again? But it's most likely that they just don't care, considering the chief negotiator earned $1 million in 2023. Paimon's voice actor said that on a Paperback Boy interview that she won't come back until it's union. Yes! Goodbye, Paimon, you won't be missed. Oh wait, they're just gonna re-record the voice lines. Here's hoping somebody better picks it up though. She even made a post about this interview on her Blue Sky account. Like, in the interview, she mentioned how her contract kept being broken again and again, with her consistently not getting paid within 30 days, as her contract states. She also claims that several of her castmates' contracts are broken on a regular basis, and that's why they need SAG, because without SAG, the companies know they don't have the money to fight them in court. Mind you, this is the person who went on record to say that Hoyo helped her, what was it, like, change companies or something when she wasn't getting paid at one point. Talk about biting the hand that feeds you. I mean, I could be wrong about changing companies, or definitely Hoyo was involved with something because her payment was being withheld in one of the earlier news segments when I covered this, but hey, I can't really remember off the top of my head. Anyways, this could be damage control because there is a chance Hoyo already replaced her for the role of Paimon. If they did nothing of value would have been lost. As per usual, this stuff is posted on Reddit with the best comment as of the time of writing is by the user Blue Dragjet, saying a huge quality of life change, and the user Zako115 replying with W, so player friendly. The user wise-sunday_9398 also mentioned, doesn't this prove what everyone was saying was correct? That it's not about AI protections, it was about unionizing the game and the company? Yes it does. But that's it for this week. I'm tired, I need a break, I need something strong to drink, and I need to find my helmet since I'm about to shoot some criminals now. Speak to you later. You know the drill by now. Like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it, and I'll see you next time.